saying. I don't know. I mean, to me, it just sounds like some children's thing. I don't know. It just... Hey, everybody. Roger D back with another video. We're going through Defending My Collection, the new series of videos that I'm putting together, that I have been putting together and putting out on the YouTube, basically showing off my Blu-ray collection. I hope you guys have been enjoying it. Actually, I have to thank you viewers, because when I started making these, I only had about 75 subscriptions, and now I'm very close to 100. I know it's not much, but for somebody who really am new, I'm new on the scene. You never knew of me. Hi, I'm now your friend. I hope. Anyway, no, I'm almost up to 100 subscribers, and that just floors me. Thanks to you guys for subscribing. Another funny thing I notice is there's more subscribes, but there's no thumbs ups. It's like you people will subscribe, but you don't thumb up the video. Why don't you thumb up the video? Not that I need the thumbs up, but it should go hand in hand. You do one, you do the other, boom, and they should be equal, but they're not. Anyway, guys, I'm back with the C's this time. Been through the A's, the B's. You can see the section that's missing there of the C's. We don't have too many this time, but it's still good. Still some good movies in the C section, and the C section. And I know you guys are saying, shut up and just show what you got, so let's get right to it. I got my little tasty beverage. Thanks for all the comments, by the way. I'm glad you guys are liking the videos. I'm trying to be as natural as possible, and sometimes I get a little goofy, and sometimes I amuse even myself. That doesn't sound very hard, Mr. Star Wars Han Solo. Anyway, first one. This is a cool movie. This thing grossed me out when I first saw it, and it was Eli Roth's first on the scene, I believe, with Cabin Fever. Oh, there's glare. There we go. See, I have a window right here, and I actually turned down the shades because it was way too bright. It looks way too bright for me too now anyway, but when I do this, you're basically getting see the reflection of like the window there. Anyway, I'll try to do this. Cabin Fever. I think a lot of you horror fans have this. Eli Roth's first. Got a load of extras on here. I like the movie. A lot of people don't. I actually kind of like the second one. The second one wasn't as great, but it was very weird with that rabbit guy. And anyway, Cabin Fever, fun movie, gross movie. Next one on the list. Oh, we're in the cabin section. Cabin in the woods. Look at, there's the spoilers. There's the cabin. There's the spoilers. There's the cabin. Why did they do that? Why did they show all the monsters on the cover? It's like when they released Planet of the Apes, the original, and they put the Statue of Liberty on the... Anyway, this is... Everybody knows about this. Everybody has this in their collection. Slipcover. Just a great film that surprised a lot of people, and a lot of people never went and saw it because they thought it was the type of movie that it is seeming to be, and it's totally not. But anyway, a lot of fun. Can't be a sequel to that, can there? Probably not, because of the... Anyway. Next up. Now we're into classic territory. Kino. Kino's been releasing some amazing stuff. And being a horror fan from way... I remember seeing this the first time on Channel 11. Public television back when I was growing up, probably in my early teens. There was a show called The Toy That Grew Up. And they used to show silent movies. And that's where I was able to see Phantom of the Opera, The Lon Chaney, and the Lon Chaney Hunchback, and Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. Great movie. I actually haven't opened this yet. It's still sealed for your protection. But I hear it looks fantastic, and I do have the Phantom and the Metropolis that Kino had done. I think Kino did both of those. And they are just phenomenal. So I'm so glad they're remastering these. Hunchback is on my list. I haven't purchased it yet, but that's my phone. Excuse me. And I'm back. That was my phone. See, I'm not even in the future. I have this little phone. I get calls and I make calls, and people have the big. No, basically I can't afford it. And this is nice and cheap. Why do I got another message? I thought I cleared that. Anyway, guys, sidetrack. It's been a hell of a day. I need a new starter in my car. I went out to do chores today, and the car just went... Didn't even click. I knew the battery, it wasn't a battery, because I had the new battery put in 2 weeks ago. And then last week I had to get a cable. The battery cable was frizzled, and it wasn't making the right connection. So that had to be replaced. So, and then today I'm going to have to get the starter. I hope it doesn't call, but I should be getting a call from the mechanic so he can let me know what the real problem is. But we think it's the starter, and it's just draining my account. And, okay. Anyway, Cabinet was the one we were talking about. Great movie. See it, get it for your collection. I hope I'm as funny as I was in the last couple, because it's been a hell of a day, and I need to watch a comedy, and maybe this one, Cable Guy. This this is a favorite of mine. A lot of people don't like it, probably because it was too weird for Jim Carrey at the time. They wanted Ace Ventura and you know, wacky Jim Carrey, and he is wacky in this thing, but it's very dark. It's a very dark movie by Ben Stiller, and but it's funny. It makes me laugh, and it's got a cool ending parodying the Bond movie Goldfinger. GoldenEye, and if you haven't seen that, you probably won't get the joke at the end of Cable Guy. But Cable Guy is funny. I like it. Matthew Broderick. It's a fun comedy. Next up. Oh, speaking of classic comedies. Inch in the hole. Caddyshack. Rodney. Rodney was so good, man. He started out late in his career. He was a painter, I think. And then he started doing stand-up, and he just became Mr. No Respect and hilarious. Everybody. Bill Murray. Chevy Chase, when Chase was Chevy, and yeah, this is pretty good from what I remember. Movie, yeah, no, but I mean the quality, the transfer and everything. It was a cheapo, so they really didn't do much with it, and I haven't seen it since I got it, but I like it in my collection. It's one of those comedy staples that you need in your collection. This is not in everybody's collection, but only those who are like me and would like something like this in their collection. And I actually do like it because I saw it. Gosh, I don't know why I like this. It's not because of the sex, although that's in there. It's Malcolm McDowell. His performances are great. Caligula. Yeah. This is a cool set. This is the Imperial Edition. It comes with different versions of the movie, and lots of extras and commentaries with Helen Mirren, and yeah, Helen Mirren was in here. So was Peter O'Toole and Sir John Gielgud, and it was such a classic take. The filmmaking is shoddy, and the zooms and it's not great. The disc looks good. I mean, they cleaned it up the best they could, but and then who was it that went in there and made it a porn? Tito Brass. Or Bob Guccione. Yeah, he went in and he filmed some extra sex scenes and threw them in there, and it is what it is. But there's some shocking stuff in here. There's some really hilarious stuff in here, if you know to laugh at some stuff that's shocking. A wedding scene. But anyway, the horse. And anyway, crazy man Caligula was. I really wish, but they won't. I, Claudius. There was a miniseries that came out on PBS years and years and years. I think it was in the 70s. And I know it's on DVD, the full thing, but and it probably won't get transferred because it was shot on video. But that was a good take on this time period. And this is just, man, it's horrifying at the end. And that machine with and they cut the heads off. It's. Did they have things like that? Was that real? Anyway, speaking of another controversial film, well, I can go on and on about this one. And again, it was one of those that I was tired of waiting for the U.S. to release, and I got this import from England. And it is Cannibal Holocaust in a nice yellow case. I like when they do interesting things like a red case or a yellow case, or even a clear case. Green case, I think, was Toxic Avenger, or maybe even Poultrygeist, I think, is a green case. for trauma. Anyway, Cannibal Holocaust, man, this movie, heard about it. You know, it was the video nasties back in the 80s. Found a... actually, this is a funny story. I was at Chiller Theater one year, the convention in New York, in Jersey. And we were walking through the dealer room, and I heard this music. And the guy was playing this soundtrack. And the music, nothing much in here, other than there's a reversible cover. The music was haunting. I was like, what is that? And it sounded very familiar to me, and I'll tell you why. I'm going to go off on a little tangent here, but it's kind of cool. Excuse me. The music was haunting, but yet familiar to me, and I hadn't seen Cannibal Holocaust. And I asked the guy, and he says, well, that's the soundtrack to Cannibal Holocaust. I'm like, Cannibal Holocaust, I heard of that movie. He goes, yeah, you should watch it. It's really, really good if you're a horror fan. And, okay, I'll check it out. And I checked it out, and that was cool. And the music is very haunting and yet beautiful. It doesn't seem to fit with what you're watching. It's electronical and like synth, and in some spots, and it can get to you, the music, meaning it's like, oh, turn that off. And it could also just go, like the opening theme is like, what am I about to watch? This sounds like a romance music thing. And the reason it sounded familiar to me is when I was real little, there was a porno theater in my neighborhood called the Highway Theater, where I grew up, and they played porno movies all week. And on the weekends, every once in a while, they'd throw in a regular movie. So I guess they just wanted more customers. I remember going to that theater to see The Sound of Music with like a grammar school class. We walked to the theater, the whole class. You know, all these kids, you see them sometimes walking on the street with monitors. And we went to see Sound of Music, and it was a porno theater. But back when I was in grammar school, I didn't know that was a porno theater. When I went to see Night of the Living Dead and Mark of the Devil, a double bill, where I actually got my vomit bag. I'll have to go get it and show you. I got it framed. The original, when you went and saw Mark of the Devil, they gave out a vomit bag, which they did to a few movies back when they were coming out. I remember when I was a little kid, my parents took me to the drive-in to see A Bucket of Blood, the old Roger Corman film, and they actually gave out little, like, it's kind of like those little, like if you get a Mexican food, the little tub with the hot sauce, they gave out little buckets, and they were called them little buckets of blood, and they gave them out to you at the drive-in. We don't have those. I still have my vomit bag, but anyway, I'm sorry, my mind is thinking of the car and how much it's going to cost. But the music to Mark of the Devil, which was another horrifying film that I saw way too young, and it was the very first time I saw Night of the Living Dead, and the ending when Ben gets shot was just jaw-dropping. I was like, you can't do this in a movie. You can't let the hero die, and they did. And it was the first time that it opened my eyes that, you know, when I saw Mark of the Devil and that, I think the worst I saw was maybe the Corpse Grinders, which wasn't very good. I mean, it was like Herschel Gordon Lewis type effects with mannequin legs, you know, as opposed to the gore effects weren't that great, but Mark of the Devil and Night of the Living Dead, that time when I went to see those movies, those were that was the first time that I knew movies could really affect you mentally, and you could go days without not thinking about it. And anyway, I'm really rambling here, but the reason the music of Cannibal Holocaust sounded familiar to me was because the opening theme to Mark of the Devil had a very similar theme. Not the same, but very similar. If you listen to both of them, not together, but listen to one and just listen to the first minute, 2 minute, well, not 2 minutes, but the first minute of each tune. The opening thing of Cannibal Holocaust and the opening thing of Mark of the Devil, they sound very similar. And it was that when I was at the Chiller Theater, when I was hearing the Cannibal Holocaust music, it brought me back to that theater where I saw Mark of the Devil, and I was just like shocked with the thumb screws and the pulling of the tongue and the needle in the eye and the boobs and the guy sitting on the nails and the water torture in the closet, and oh my God, that all came back. And then of course, when I was getting into the 80s, into the gore films, I had to see Cannibal, and I saw it, and again, that music didn't seem to fit with the movie, but it does now because it's such a bizarre feeling you get when you hear this sweet, soft, innocent music, and you're seeing these horrifying images. And Cannibal Holocaust, the ending of the thing, though a lot of people, I don't know, I agree with everybody that say you need a shower after you see it. But that ending where they're watching the original crew get massacred, it stayed with me because it didn't, and it still does. When I see it, it's still, I just stare at it, and I know it's fake and all. Even the girl on the pole, which is not, oh, the girl on the pole. Glare, there. Years later, finding out how that was done, it was kind of fascinating, but at that time, and then the history the film has with being banned and the director having to go to court and prove his case that nothing, those actors were just actors and it wasn't real. But anyway, that ending massacre scene and the girl getting ripped apart, and it really got to me. Anyway, I went on way too long. I was comparing musics. Okay, let's go. I don't want to think of the car. I want to get to the funny Cannonball Run, guilty pleasure. I kind of wish the second one would come out too. I don't know. There is a third one, isn't there? I don't think I've seen past the second one. But this is a fun one. Burt, when he was high on his career, a lot of great actors in here. I think this is the first movie that started the bloopers in the end credits. I think Cannonball Run was the first on that. And we see it to today in comedies. They show the bloopers. Anyway, Dom DeLuise, geez, Adrienne Barbeau, Jamie Farr, Jackie Chan, Roger Moore. Fun movie. It was pretty cheap. Oh, I got a copy of Cannonball Run 2 in here. Copy until it comes out on Blu. Anyway. Great score. Bernard Herrmann, one of my favorite, probably is my favorite composer, Bernard Herrmann. Especially there's so much of his music. Anyway, great score on this. A lot of people don't like this. I like it just as much as I like the original, which I don't have in my collection, unfortunately. The original was very, for its time, toned back. But Mitchum played that character like a coiled snake. You know, you never knew when he was going to pounce. And for its time, it was a really, really kind of scary thought that this guy could, what would happen. And then Scorsese came out and remade it, and he pretty much made it way over the top. There are some ridiculous stuff in here, but I think it's more about substance, about style. Just the visuals, the super close up and the background shots, and like Katie up on the hill with the fireworks behind them, and it was all very visual. And the ending gets very, very crazy and very wild with the houseboat and De Niro and Juliette Lewis, and there's so much in this I really, really like. And Mitchum and Gregory Peck make appearances in here, little cameos, but really like what he did with this. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad it came out on Blu. And it's Cape Fear. See it if you haven't, and get it if you want it. Like I said, I enjoy it. Okay, here's a flick I saw. I heard really good things about this, and I don't believe it's on. I know it's not in U.S. I had to buy the English, the UK import. And this is, I believe, a French film or a Spanish film. God, I can't think. Anyway, it's Cell 211. This is an awesome flick about a guy who's visiting a prison, and he's going to be a new guard at the prison. And while he's there kind of making a tour with the warden and other officers, a riot breaks out, and the prison gets taken over by all the criminals. And the new guard gets stuck in one of the cells, and then he's trapped in there while this is all going on, and he has to pretend he's one of the criminals and kind of get together with the lead who's leading the riot and try to save himself and save the prison, and horror ensues. It's an amazing film. It's got some great performances, hell of an ending, just one of those tension building. The cops know he's in there and they don't want to give him his secret away. And Cell 211, find it somewhere, watch it, pick up the import if you want. It looks great on Blu-ray. And here I'm going to contradict what I said about my alphabeticalizing, but when you think of A Charlie Brown Christmas or It's the Great Pumpkin, what do you think of? You think Charlie Brown, first thing. C, Charlie Brown. So I got the Charlie Brown Holiday Collection with a slip cover that slides out like this. And boy, that glare really kills. And it's great. It's got the Blu-rays and the DVD of the Great Pumpkin, Thanksgiving, and the Christmas, with some great, awesome extras. Grew up watching these tunes every holiday, and every holiday now I stick them in. They're only like 20 minutes, and they're uncut, and they look good, and you should have this collection. It's nice and shiny. But yeah, great stuff, classic stuff. Excuse me. Chasing Amy. Kevin Smith. I was a big Kevin Smith fan when he started out. I loved Clerks. I loved what he did for independent film. I still kind of like what he's doing by doing his own stuff and, you know, saying, I don't need you, Hollywood. He has grown such a fan base and such a, with his podcast, and you know what? Hold on a second. I'm going to hum while I go back and get a tissue and something else to show you, and then we'll get back to Chasing Amy. I'm humming for you. Can you hear me hum? I need a tissue for my runny nose. My nose is running all around the apartment, and I'm trying to catch my nose from running. And, okay, we're back. Excuse me while I wipe some wetness. I was going to show you this. This is the Mark of the Devil. Trying to get close there. The vomit bag, which I got back at that Highway Porn Theater. I put it in a nice little frame I'm going to hang up somewhere in my little apartment here. Anyway, Chasing Amy, I was a big fan of Kevin Smith, and like Clerks, not too much on Mallrats, but I did grow to like it, which I have when we get to the M's. And I picked this up. I kind of wish I had I think it was on the DVD, they had that documentary about him with all the problems he had with Dogma, making Dogma, and I don't think it's on here. Chasing Amy doc. Yeah, it's not on here. But still in all, it's a good movie. I really like this movie. I really like his soundtracks to his movies. Like, not as good as Tarantino, but like Tarantino, he uses some unique rock songs and throws them in there. But Chasing Amy has some great music in it. And he's just a hell of a writer. I like his writing, his easy speech. That's me. People have a problem with Kevin Smith. I loved Red State. I haven't seen Tusk. I hear it, again, mixed. Most of his movies are mixed. This is a flick that came out very recently, 2013. And why does it say disc made in Mexico? That's kind of odd. What company is this? Draft House Films. So maybe this is a limited. I'm not really sure. Anyway, if you haven't seen this movie, Cheap Thrills. Wow, look at that cover. There, Cheap Thrills. This has a reversible cover. The original cover looks like that. So if you go in the video store, you'll see that cover. But I like the punch in the face, yellow. And let me get that in here. I saw this movie and it floored me. It was... I'm drawing a blank on the names here, but Pat Healy. Oh, the great Pat Healy. He's one of these actors that you've seen in a lot of movies, but you might not know his name, and he's great in this. And who's the guy with the big bump? What's his name? David Koechner. Coach. People say Koechner, but I think it's Koechner, or Koechner. I don't know. Whatever you want to call him, you can call him. But kind of a different role for him, even David Koechner, because he's like the instigator. And I don't want to say too much about Cheap Thrills, but check it out. Very black comedy. Goes to places you won't believe it went, and it's a pretty damn cool movie. See Cheap Thrills. Oh, great movie. Great. Love it. Children of Men. A lot of people are mixed on this. There's a lot of people that love it, like me. And the visuals, what he did in editing and filmmaking, and Alfonso Cuarón, Mr. Gravity. It's I think he did Gravity. But this is that final scene with no cuts. The battle scene going up, and then even the scene in the car where the camera goes around and around. I think Steven Spielberg used that technique in one shot in War of the Worlds when Tom Cruise is in the car with his kids and the camera goes around and comes in. But anyway, fantastic technical achievement, fantastic look at the future, the bleakness, and you need to see this if you haven't. When this came out, this was like one of the best of the year. Great movie. Gotta love it. I gotta love it because it's just so good. I gotta love it. This is a childhood favorite. This, gosh, I remember seeing this at the theater and getting there late. Oh, I remember my neighbor. There was a girl, Jeannie. She was going to go see this with her parents, and I wanted to go. And I, Mom, can I go? No, you guys stay here. But I want to go. It was weird. I was so young that I had to ask permission, but yet when I did go, she just let me go, and I ran to the show. I ran blocks and blocks and blocks to the Colony Theater where this was playing. It's about a mile away. And I'm talking, I must have been 9. When did this movie come out? This was, let me show it to you. It's Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Yes. Oh gosh, I love this. This is one of my childhood favorite movies of all time. And why can't I see a year when this, 1968, it won original song. So we're talking, I was 8, 9 years old. And when my mom finally gave in and says, yeah, go on, you can go to the show with them, they had already left, Jeannie and her family. So I had to run to the theater, and I got there. I missed maybe the opening 5-10 minutes, and I ran to the theater, and I went in there, and I found them, and I sat and I watched the rest of it. And then I stayed, because back then you could stay, they didn't chase you out, and I watched the beginning of it again, and then went home and played. And this movie has always been a favorite of mine. I had the soundtrack when I was a kid. You knew all the songs, sang all the songs. This comes with the slip cover. Why is that upside down? That's kind of weird. Ooh, get in there without ruining the damn plastic. Get in there. I don't have to go from the bottom. Works from one way, not the other. Favorite of mine. I just love it. And the child catcher. Oh my gosh, he was horrifying. To this day, I think there's a lot of people my age that were scared of that character when we saw this growing up. He's like the evil queen from Snow White. He was one of the villains. He would walk around with this giant net and catch children and put them in his cart that was like, had bars like it was a jail. And very unique story that Dick Van Dyke's character is telling that becomes a reality that ends up being a story, but is it a reality? It's fantasy. And the Bond guy, oh gosh, my mind. Well, you know about this movie. You know who made it. You know who and the music and Posh. could tell I'm having an off day, can't you? Because I'm just not. I'm worried about my car. Not the car. I'm worried about how much it's going to cost to repair it. I'm going to have a hard week without money. Christmas vacation. Dun 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 dun. No, I wasn't doing Blues Brothers. I was doing the opening of the thing. This is a favorite holiday of mine, as is with thousands of millions of people out there. This is an every year thing. Used to be Christmas Story, a Christmas Story, but I don't even have that in my collection because I've gotten to the point where I just can't watch that movie anymore, as great as it is. They ruined it for me by putting it on 24 hours on television on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And I've been to too many Christmas parties with the relatives where that's on constantly. And there's no reason to ever see it again because it'll always be on. This sometimes gets play around Christmas on the cable, but I wanted it. I got it. I really like this one. The original Vacation is hilarious. This might beat it for me because I laugh a lot every year. The same jokes. I laugh. Is your house on fire? Just great stuff, and that great speech that everybody knows that Chase does to his boss. Well, no, about his boss, about not getting the raise and all. Yeah, great movie. Another Christmas movie, because we're in the C's and they start with the word Christmas. Christmas Evil. This is a movie probably not a lot of people know about until recently. Maybe when it started getting DVD releases and Blu-ray releases, people started noticing this. I saw this years and years ago, back in the 80s, the old VHS copy, and it always kind of stuck with me. I mean, there are those Silent Night, Deadly Night movies, with Santa and the Chimney and the Axe, that banned poster that they tried to ban the movie. It's a fun movie, the Silent Night, Deadly Night, naughty and all that, but it's not very good in my opinion. You guys might like it, but this is the one that stuck with me. Just the guy going mad. And trying to be a good guy, but killing people. And if you haven't seen this, see it. It's a great movie. I'm sorry I'm not talking too much about it. And there's a 4K restoration on this. They really did some stuff. There's 2 commentaries. There's deleted scenes. There's all kind of extras on here. Christmas Evil. There's a lot of Christmas horror movies out there, and that's like one of my favorites. This movie, I was pretty floored when it first came out. They call it found footage because somebody filmed it. These kids filmed it, and then all this stuff happened in the city and all this damage, and then they found the tape, and they says, hey, maybe we'll let this go. Is that why they call them found footage? Because somebody found it, and now, I don't know, I'm trying to make that weird connection that they put it out there for you to buy, and then you could watch what happened. But I never heard about this in the news. People flying and cars and damage and crime. Going nuts. Am I too bright? It looks like I'm really bright. This comes with the slipcover. Lots of extras. I really enjoyed this film. It was pretty damn cool, and what he did with the effects was really, really well done. For what he could do. I'm trying to find the director in here. They don't have credits on the back. Why don't they have credits on the back of this? Anyway, you know this movie. You've probably seen it already. I got it in my collection, and I'm happy for it. Happy for it to be in my collection. It's very happy to live here with me. What can I say? I'm not going to go into this because most people probably have this. I was holding off. I actually held off on buying all of these because, I've seen them, and we're talking about Chucky. I've seen the movies, all of them. I've seen the first 2 in the theater. The others I caught on video or DVD, whatever the years came out. Really liked the weird twist they changed from Bride of Chucky and on. How really self-aware and crazy they got. Seed of Chucky. And then Jennifer Tilly joining the group. Brad Dourif is always great. The first one, I remember the first one fondly because I was in college. Well, actually, no, I worked downtown. I worked in a building in the Loop, right on Wabash, And the opening scene of this movie with the Toy Story that Brad Dourif's character goes in, and then he does those chants and gets his soul put into the doll. That store, the outside of that store was made as like a mock store on Wabash Avenue where I worked, and I remember seeing them putting it up the week, and then I was there when they blew it up and blew all the windows out that you see in the movie. It wasn't, they filled the interiors somewhere else, but the exteriors were done right there in Chicago. This was pretty big. It was, the first Chucky was made pretty big when I don't know who was mayor. I don't think it was Byrne at the time, but it was around the time when movies were being made, like Blues Brothers and things like that in Chicago. But I remember that first movie, and whenever I watch it, I go, I was there and I saw them blow that thing up. Of course, I wasn't close. I was down a block away, but because they had it all blocked off. And another funny thing is that that very same year, I believe it was that year, the same building I worked at, which I think was called the Mid-Continental Plaza. I think it was called there. I was doing security there. And we had a parking garage up in the upstairs, and I worked one night shift there. And it was when Steven Seagal and the film crew came in to film his first hit, which was Above the Law, I think. And there's a scene in there where there's a shootout in the parking lot, and a car goes out of the building and lands onto the L tracks. I was there when they filmed that too. I was in the building being a security guard. Is it Joe Silva? What's his name? It's not on here. What am I looking at here? Above the Law. Anyway, Steven Seagal was a little short guy. I was taller than him, but it was just good. And I didn't really know who he was at that time because he was just starting out. But they had, in the lobby, they had the whole catering for the actors to come down, and I was just standing there. I was one of the guards and watching everything and talking every once in a while. But when they shot that thing, we were down in the lobby and we could hear the gunshots, floors up. It was that loud, the stuff they used. Anyway, we're talking about Chucky. I go way off. But see, this is why I'm kind of glad I'm doing this for you guys. And somebody wrote me, I'm sorry if I forgot, but they said I'm very entertaining. And that's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to, as these movies entertain me, I'm trying to talk about them and entertain you. Because I don't want it to be a boring video. And being that I'm so into movies, and my life has been so weird, and I got little stories about everything. And just showing off these movies kind of remind me of them, and I just feel like I'd like to share the story, because when I'm gone, no one's going to hear those stories, even though they might not mean anything. But at least I'm telling them, and they're on the YouTube for all the YouTube community to see and enjoy. Chucky movies. Like I said, I wasn't going to buy them, but then I saw this set come out, and it was real cheap. Again, talking about cheapness, and I picked it up, and I got them all now. It's cool, and they're making a new one, I hear. You hear that? That was a little sticky. This stuck to the other disc, and I'll tell you why. People have an issue with slip covers where the store puts stickers on there, the price or any other little stickers, and you try to get them off, and then you either have the glue residue or something else. But I picked this up. It was a great price, and this is the mega collection, the big hefty Citizen Kane box that comes with all the greatness that is Citizen Kane. I won't even get into this. It's a phenomenal movie. I'm kind of on the boat with everybody saying it's one of the greatest movies ever made, considering the age of Orson Welles at the time and the amazing feat he did by writing, directing, acting, creating this work of art is unbelievable. But this came, as with most of these big special editions, the back, usually in the store you have to have the card that has all the specs and the barcode and all that stuff. And of course they usually have the little, I call them sticky boogers, that are on the thing. And those on some cases, if it's a nice case, they just peel off and you rub and it's gone. It's gone. But for this has there's like a matte finish. It's very almost velvety feeling. It's not your typical cardboard. And they had the card, but they had these two big round stickers on either side, on the top and the bottom. Part of the half of the circle was on the card that came off, and the other half was on here. And of course, I don't know if you could see, but it leaves. See, you could see here. It goes around, and it's sticky. It has a stickiness to it, and I hate that because it kind of ruined the case. I mean, it's a beautiful case, and it's embossed. If you look in the words, there's puzzle pieces. It's amazing. It's an amazing set. But this really, even on the anniversary, it kind of took off the red ink when I was unsticking it. You know, why can't they just seal it and then put the stickers all over on there? You know, Citizen Kane. Enough said. Great movie. 35 minutes, 36 minutes, I think. We're almost done, but I don't. This is great. Fulci. Not sure if there's any other versions out. I didn't buy this on Arrow. I guess I kind of waited, or maybe this had more extras on it. But this is a Blue Underground release of City of the Living Dead, otherwise known as... Was this the one, the Seven Gates of Hell? I believe. There was a very badly edited version in Blockbuster. Before people knew Blockbuster edited their own movies for family viewing, even like the R-rated movies, they cut stuff out and then they rented and sold those. Why would you want the uncut version? Especially a Fulci or a Argento movie. You want the fully uncut. Anyway, from what I remember, this looks pretty great. It's got a lot of extras in it. Pretty bare bones, but it's got some nice artwork. Blue Underground. Jeez. Fulci tapped into some nightmarish, you know, I mean, when I think of nightmares on screen, I think of David Lynch. David Lynch, I think, knows how to capture just someone's nightmare. Some of his movies, like Eraserhead or even like Lost Highway, they just seem very dreamlike and nightmarish because things sometimes don't make sense. And Fulci was like that with The Beyond. Beyond is like a horrifying nightmare. City of the Living Dead is like a nightmare. So many great visuals and great soundtracks. Oh, Italian cinema. Italian horror cinema. Here's a favorite of mine, of course, because I'm a giant, as with a lot of people out there, Ray Harryhausen. God bless him. Oh, Ray, he made some fantastic fantasy films. What a talent. What a great, great talent. The dynamation, the animation. Clash of the Titans, the original. God, I love the Medusa scene. Ray came to the museum, Modern Museum of Art, I think that's what it was called, in Chicago years ago, just when this thing came out. So we're talking 80s, I think. But anyway, he came to do a talk. He brought a lot of his little armatures and statuettes and characters, and he showed us a reel of his stuff, and then he did a Q&A. And somewhere in one of my What's in the Boxes, I have a brochure that came from that Q&A session that I had him sign. Didn't even think to bring anything like movie posters, and I had the original one sheet of Jason and the Argonauts I could have had him sold, and Seventh Voyage of Sinbad I could have had him so. But I knew I was going, but I was like, should I bring the posters? I don't know. So I'm glad they had the flyer because at least I got his autograph. Years later, I saw him at the Wonderfest show, the model and toy collecting show, and then I saw him at other conventions, and I've gotten his autograph recently on Laserdiscs and posters and things. But Clash of the Titans, man, great. I love the Medusa scene. I do have the remake in 3D. I bought it just because I'm a 3D completist. And yeah, the 3D is not that great, and the movie is definitely not that great. Fortunately, which is amazing, well, not amazing, but the Wrath of the Titans that came out, I actually like pretty much. It actually seems more like a closer sequel to this movie than that first movie. And in fact, Wrath of the Titans even has a cameo by the little owl. Tic-Tac? No, Tic-Tac was Return to Oz. I can't remember what they call the little metal owl, which at the time that I saw this movie, I hated. It's like, what do they need that comic relief for? You don't need this little owl. Get to the monsters. Anyway, Clash of the Titans, get it in your collection if you're a Ray Harryhausen. Ray Harryhausen movies, man, there isn't much. There's, I'm guessing off the top of my head, 12 movies? 15 movies he did, feature length, and a lot of them are on Blu-ray, and there's maybe a handful that aren't. 1 Million BC, Christine, although Twilight Time, there's a rumor that might come out. Valley of Gwanji's not out. Mysterious Island, Twilight Time did, got out of print, and you can't get it anywhere. So I'm hoping those all come back. I was really hoping they were able to get Ray to do commentaries on all those movies before he passed. I hope they did that, because that's important when you hear from Ray on the movies. He does some really interesting commentaries, and well, when we go to more Ray, I'll talk more Ray. Next up, won't spend time on this because I kind of talked already about Kevin Smith, his first movie, Clerks. Must have if you like Kevin Smith. It's loaded with extras. I mean, loaded with all kind of extras. Yeah, it's a fun movie. I'm glad they have the ending where, spoiler, I wasn't supposed to be here happens. And yeah, good movie. I enjoy it. And of course, had to pick up Clerks 2, which I found hilarious. Hilarious. And gets a little heartwarming at the end between the two leads there when they're in that prison cell. I mean, it's one of those, you know, they're at the crossroads of growing up, and what are they going to do with their lives, and should they keep screwing around? And Clerks 2 is great. It has a great little dance, I guess, fantasy dance scene in there. And my theater background, I love music and dancing. Asylum, American Horror Story, the dance number. This dance number gets me rocking when it comes on, because I can't dance anymore because I'm a big fat butt. I'll talk about that. Cliffhanger. Stallone, when he was making some good movies back then. Actually got this because I loved John Lithgow's performance. It's a cool movie. It's an actioner that, you know, it was one of the 90s, I believe. Was this 90s or... I have a hard time. Yeah, 93. Had it on a Laserdisc. Got it on Blu-ray real cheap. I'm glad it came out cheap. And you see this? I don't know if you guys know this, but these little things, sometimes they... it don't stay closed. You know what you do? You open it. And then you take the little thing that won't close and you push it. It's making a liar out of me. This one don't work. Usually you can push this and it'll lock and then you can close it. Kind of like that I did there, but it doesn't stay. Usually it stays there. So anyway, you could do that if you have one of these. It won't close. I love cracking myself up because I love to laugh and I don't laugh much. And wow, this is a nice set. This is the first set that came out of this movie. Close Encounters of the Third Kind, the big, nice, shiny book. Hefty. This is the one that opens, comes with a fantastic book. Great. And then it opens like so. I hope nothing falls out. Nice. Got a lot of little, got the whole thing here on the different versions of the movies. Timeline. This does come with the different versions of the movie. I really like the original cut, and I like the extended cut where you see inside, even though you didn't need that. But the problem I had was when Spielberg released that special edition, he cut out stuff. He added stuff that was good, but he also cut out stuff that was good from the original theatrical cut. Like the where Roy Neary is going nuts and he's taking all the crap from his yard and throwing it in the house so he can build a mountain in the living room. That is shortened in the special edition cut. And I think there's other scenes that are shortened. But yet in the special edition cut, he added this fantastic scene where Roy is having this kind of nervous breakdown, sitting in the bathtub in his clothes in the water, and he's yelling at his wife, and the kids are crying. It's an amazing scene, but it wasn't in the theatrical cut. I wish they had a version, and I'm going to kick myself if it is on here, and I'm just forgetting, where it's everything put in one big movie. Kind of like the Dawn of the Dead. What cut of Dawn of the Dead was that? That was the wasn't it? Well, it was kind of a director's cut. I think it was the Cannes cut, where it's super extended. Romero has all his stuff in there. Unfortunately, that's not on Blu-ray. It's on DVD on the big mega set, which I still had back there. Didn't get rid of that one. But you know, if there's extra scenes in movies, I would like to have the version that is totally complete. There's a lot of fan edits that I got involved with a good 10 years ago. I noticed them and I started downloading and watching all the fan edits that were out there. And a lot of people, what they do is they would take the deleted scenes, whether they were good or not, and re-edit them into the movie to make one big fan edit of the complete movie. Anyway, I'm just rambling on here. I always, when I see this, I wonder, well, did I do this right? Should I have done this? Anyway, Cloverfield. This is, I love this monster movie. This found footage. It shocked me. It was, again, J.J. Abrams, Mr. Secretive, releasing these little teaser trailers and all these little things on the internet to get you all excited about it, and then you see it and you either like it or you don't. I actually liked it. I thought this was a pretty damn good movie. But what I said about shouldn't I, this was the first. I bought this brand new when it came out, and it always had the thing on the top, you know, the sticker you had to peel off. Anti-theft sticker. But it has this thing on the side that said Cloverfield. It was a sticker. It was, you know, Project CT. I mean, it had, you know, new secrets revealed. But yeah, I actually just cut it so I could open it. And I wonder if I should have just peeled that off. But I don't know. That's what I always think about. If I did that right, or should I have cut that? Did I have ruined something? But everybody has it. Nobody collects anything. This is very recent. Wachowskis, the siblings, not the brothers anymore. I really like this movie. I didn't think I was going to, because a lot of people kind of panned it. I think it was they didn't like how long it was or how convoluted the storyline was, based on a novel that I understand is still very convoluted. And I hear it's kind of cool because each chapter, each era and thing that happens, each chapter in the book is written in the style or the language of the time period that it takes place. Past, future, present. I'm talking about Cloud Atlas. Some of the performances are, I got the slipcover, but I liked it. It's epic. It's epic. It's visual. One thing you could say about the Wachowskis is they're visionaries. They do. You want to see entertainment? Just watch one of their movies, and they'll take you to a whole nother universe. Speed Racer was like that. The new Jupiter Ascending. A lot of people hate that thing. Yeah, it's not the greatest story. They have a problem with stories. They need someone to come in and do the screenplay and let them make the movie, give all their style to it, but you know, let someone else do the dialogue and all. But anyway, I enjoyed this movie, Cloud Atlas. See it if you haven't. Read it if you want. How sweet it. Oh, that was a bit strong. Sorry. Yeah, it's got a little. See, I'm wondering if that's the secret that kind of makes me more entertaining. This is a favorite of mine. This I saw when it came out at the theaters, and I was kind of, in 1985, I was kind of pissed that you had to go to different theaters to see the different ending, because this has 3 different endings, and when it came out, depending on what theater you went, they had the different ending on each print, and you didn't know what ending you were going to see. And I'm kind of glad that when they did bring this out on DVD, and then now on Blu-ray, you could choose to see whichever ending, or you could see all 3, which are kind of seamlessly spliced at the end. I'm talking about Clue. Hilarious cast. Lots of great people in here. I won't go in, doing backwards. I won't go into it, but if you haven't seen it, see it. This will make a great double bill with Murder by Death, which is a movie I don't have that I need to get on Blu. But funny stuff. I love Tim Curry running around explaining everything at the end. And this I just picked up recently. It's been out for years, and I saw it once and I liked it, but I didn't love it to where I needed to buy it. And I saw this nice and cheap, and I said, you know, it's time for me to buy this and watch it again. I rewatched it. I'm talking about Collateral. I rewatched it, and man, I forgot. It really is a great movie. It's Jamie Foxx. You know, say what you will, he does some great stuff. I mean, most of his characters that he's portrayed are based on real people, but here he's an original character, something that you don't see much, and I thought he did a very good job at. He's in this predicament with this hitman, and Cruise did a great job. You know, Tom Cruise has his issues, and he's Mr. Scientology and Mr. Jump on the Couch, but you know, he's one of our greatest actors of this time. You know, he's got some issues, but boy, he knows what he puts it on the screen, and he does his own stunts. The Mission Impossible movies are amazing. Every movie he tops himself with something wild he did, hanging on the building, the tallest building, and now this last movie, which the Mission Impossible, he's hanging on the side of a plane, a jet, as it's going up. I need to see that. Collateral, damn good movie, great little movie. Here's I got a lot of comedies in the seas. Eddie Murphy again when he was on the top. Coming to America, John Landis, man. Again, I love John Landis. Just like I like Joe Dante, they're like that with me. Meaning I like them both the same for different reasons. Landis does some outlandish stuff, and I really liked Coming to America. It was a pretty damn funny movie. Eddie Murphy was on the top of his game. Rick Baker did some amazing. Can they have focus on there? Yeah, he did some amazing makeup, making him all these different characters in the barber shop. And no, Coming to America, funny movie. Go see it. Ah, Arnold. We're in the seas. What movie did Arnold do? I do a bad Arnold. Get to the chopper! That's terrible. That's terrible. Conan the Barbarian. I love this movie. People say it's dated and all that. How can it be dated? It's a period piece, and it's got, you know, Arnold and a big sword, and was it Mako? Is that who the Asian actor was? And James Earl Jones, Slaughter's Family. You know the story. You've seen this. The score by Basil Palladiaris, or however you say his name, man. The score is dun, dun. I love the score. Anvil of Akram, I think that's the cut, the main like theme of the thing. Oh, gives me chills when I watch it. And the visuals, I love the way it's shot. I love this movie. Saw it in the theater. Sorry, I grew up loving that movie, and I still love it. The sequel, not too much. The sequel suffers from story problems and really bad. Again, I'm talking those outline matte shots where you can see them, and CGI people fix those matte shot lines, make them look better. Okay, we're talking classic. 3 Academy Award nominations, including Best Picture. Apparently it didn't win Best Picture. I wonder what won instead of this. Because this, it's funny. When you think of the Oscars, let's get personal. I'm getting close here. When you think of the Oscars, you go, which will win Best Picture? There's a lot of good nominees. And then the Best Picture ones, and you go, Or you go, yeah, I like that movie. I'm glad it won. But you know, years later, there's a lot of those award-winning pictures that you can go, Chariots of Fire? I'll watch this instead. No, I don't want to watch that. Ordinary People? Yeah, let me watch this. And usually those ones that you watch instead are the ones that were nominated but not winning. So anyway, talking about a movie that didn't win, to my knowledge, I'm just saying if it did, then forgive me. Gene Hackman, great. The Conversation. Oh, amazing film. Amazing, amazing. And there's another movie that he did with Will Smith years and years later. I have it. It's in the E's. Enemy of the State. Which is interesting because when you find out, when you see a little more in that movie about the Gene Hackman character in that movie, when you go to his base, he's in this cage with all this monitoring equipment. It's kind of like in my mind, I kind of go, you know, this is like a little sequel. It's the same character in Enemy of the State that was in this movie, and he's still hiding out. It's kind of like the Man with No Name trilogy, Clint Eastwood, Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, you know, all those three movies. And then you see Unforgiven, which is a fantastic film. And you kind of, you know, he used to be this persona, and he's not anymore. Now he's married, but his wife passed. He's raising his kids on the farm. He doesn't want to get involved with anything, any problems. That was in his past. It's kind of like he's the man with no name, and he's got to go right the wrong, you know, with Gene Hackman again. But in my mind, it's like it's the same man with no name character in Unforgiven. At least that's me. Conversation. Millions of things have been said about it. See the movie if you haven't. That's all I got to say with all these. If you haven't seen it, see it. At least I like them. And that's the thing. I like me, you like you. Your side, my side, your side, you know. Did you get that reference? You know what that's from? Cool Hand Luke. Another great classic movie. Paul Newman, man. What we have here is a failure to communicate. Can't do that without saying that. Can't talk about this movie without doing that little thing. He just didn't like the coin meters, you know, and that's what happened to him. Great movie. Makes you hungry for eggs. Here we go. We're talking the spectrum of classic cinema, Hollywood, to modern day classic cinema. It's Crank, y'all! Crank. Jason Statham as Chev Chilios. These guys, Neville Dean and Taylor, man, Skinslip, you always talk about them, and Skinslip's this guy, you know. But they do some great stuff. I love this. I love Crank 2. I love their Skullface Motorcycle Knight Rider, Ghost Rider sequel. But I'm waiting for Crank 3D. Come on, 3D. This is just great. This is pure adrenaline. If you know about this movie, you know about the movie. If you don't, and you just want a wild ride, leave the brain at the door. Don't try to make things up. In fact, when the sequel, they kind of almost implied that this whole thing is like a video game character, you know, many lives. You got to survive the levels. This level he's got to keep his heart, his adrenaline up. In the second movie, he's got to keep electrocuting him because he's got a new heart. And what's the next level? Who knows? Crank 2. I can't say enough about these movies, and I'm not going to say anything because you know them, and they're great. I have an issue with Crank 2, though. Nothing about the movie. It's mainly about the disc. And if you look on some of the Blu-ray forums, they talk about this. A lot of players won't play this movie. It'll play it, but it plays it in like a little box. Like here's your 16 by 9 screen on your TV, and in the middle you'll get a little box, and you'll only see that portion of the movie. You don't see the rest. It's weird. And I think from what I remember reading about it is when you put this disc in, it's trying to connect to the online service so it can show you, I guess, streaming previews or any other kind of new extras that are on this or something. But there's some kind of weird flaw that if it doesn't connect to the internet, that won't play. And for some reason, this will not play on my Blu-ray players because I'm not connected to the internet. I just have a Blu-ray player. There's nothing going to the inner world. But anyway, both those movies are great. The Crank movies. Where's Crank 3D? Please, come on, guys. I don't know what Neville Dean and Taylor are doing. I'll have to look them up and see what their IMDb says. This movie won Best Picture to a lot of people's chagrin. Is that the word, chagrin? I don't know. Sounds like it. I enjoyed it. Made me tear up. Made me appreciate Sandra Bullock as an actress, going, wow, she actually went there. And she's not the girl next door anymore. She's a bitch. And, man, and again, the way it all comes together, I'm talking about Crash. People go, oh, this Crash crap. I hate Crash. The other one should have won. And I can't remember what the other one was. But, no, it wasn't I don't think it was Brokeback Mountain. I think Brokeback Mountain won, didn't it? Anyway, I like this movie. I'm sorry. It's 2 disc. No, it's 1 disc. Blu-ray. Anyway, I like it. I'm sorry. You know it. If you haven't seen it, see it. Cool cult movie with tragic results, unfortunately. Talk about Crow. The Crow. I gotta straighten this thing out. It's sticking out. Brendan Lee, man. It's tragic what happened. He died on the set. You all know the story. Didn't like any of the sequels. Haven't really watched many of them other than the second one. But this one I really, really like. Love the visuals. I kind of appreciate and like the way they were able to finish the film by using footage of Brandon Lee from other shots and kind of fitting them in, although they stand out right. Oh, that's a weird shot. But great soundtrack, great movie. Can't rain all the time. The Crazies, remake of a Romero film, which I swore I would never watch. And then I watched Dawn of the Dead, and it was a good movie, but it shouldn't have been called Dawn of the Dead. It should have been called Zombies in the Mall or something. Anyway, this one surprised me. The Crazies wasn't that great of a movie. I really loved Romero's original Crazies because of the editing. I thought his editing was pretty fantastic as a film student growing up, watching it. And the bleakness, just the bleakness of the ending. You know, no one survives. But the remake I enjoyed. It was pretty scary. Some far-fetched. Blow up at the end is kind of, anyway. I enjoy it. It's a cool little horror movie. We're getting to the end. Oh, here we go. Speaking of Romero, Stephen King, can't miss. Creepshow. This is the original release. I believe it's bare bones. Yeah. I don't even think it has a trailer. Oh, includes theatrical trailer. So, yeah, I was wrong. Love this movie. But you know what? After I bought it and watched it a few times and still loved it, I heard that in England there's another version, and there's a full-length documentary on the making of this thing. I think it's called Just Desserts. And so I had to buy the import, which has the original. I love this artwork. The making of Creepshow. Yeah, Just Desserts. And there's Tom Savini behind the minute, a half-hour Tom Savini thing on here. There's deleted scenes from Creepshow. Did you know there were deleted scenes you didn't see from Creepshow? They're on here. Not on the bare bones one. This is the one to get. Again, another reason to have an all region. Hey guys, I talked to one of the people that subscribed to me had asked me what kind of all region player I have, and I just want to tell you guys, go to if you're looking for a pretty reasonable priced all region Blu-ray player, go to a place. This is a shameless plug because it's where I got it, and I've had good repartee with them. They sent me my machines. They play perfectly. I have no issues with them. Their prices are pretty reasonable. It's called Bombay Electronics. They're out of Illinois here, but they're online, and they have all different brands of all region Blu-ray players that play worldwide. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the different regions and everything. And even 3D, which is like the ones I have. They're great. They're great. And you can import once you get to know Amazon, and there's Amazon UK, and there's Amazon France and Germany and that. If you go to BluRay.com, go to the forums and do some research on, you know, the quality of the visuals and the extras that you get on imports compared to the US, you might end up getting a lot of the imports as opposed to the US versions because they have better picture or better extras. I'm just giving that little plug, BombayElectronics.com. Look them up online if you want to purchase a all-region Blu-ray player. I get nothing out of it. I'm just telling you guys that's where I got mine, and I'm happy with them. We're down to the final two, and I think we're past the hour mark. I talk too much, guys. I'm sorry. I hope you find this entertaining. Okay, this movie. I don't know. Did you know that this was the script to this movie was punched up by Quentin Tarantino? That made me go, huh? Huh? You can even see my ears? Huh? My ears perked up. As Quentin Tarantino did a rewrite on this, and no wonder why I like it. Although it has two great actors in it that I really enjoy. Gene Hackman and Denzel Washington. I'm talking about Crimson Tide. Crimson Tide's a pretty damn cool movie. Give me the damn key! And you know, if you watch it now, knowing that Tarantino punched up the script, there's a scene where they're trying to get the, I think it's the sonar guy, and Denzel tells him the story. There's a guy in there talking about comic books, different artists, and Denzel tells him about Scotty, and I need your help, Scotty. You got to get this sub going, and it seems very Tarantino-ish to me. You know, he's very what's the term I'm trying to think of? Where he puts in regular speak of stuff that people know, like TV shows and things. And I don't know what I'm saying. I love this movie. Cool movie. Crimson Tide. Is there a movie called Crimson Peak? I think there is. Though I don't think I've seen it. And the last C I have, the last C movie of these. You know, you might be noticing a few movies missing that. Why doesn't Roger have the Avengers? Why doesn't Roger have... he seems like someone who would want Amazing Spider-Man. What? You know what? I have 3D movies, and I'm just doing my regular Blu-rays. The 3D movies will be in a whole separate group of videos. And I'll talk about those movies then. But anyway, this is the last of the Blu-rays I have, and it's based on a Stephen King story. And I liked it when I saw it. I actually was on a date and probably still have the scars of the girl shoving her fingernails into my arm because she was so scared. I'm talking about Cujo. Cujo, the old St. Bernard that's a little rabid and attacking what's her name and her son, Dee Wallace and her son in her car. And I'm a fan. I like this. It's funny, a lot of people, you go, oh, that's a Stephen King movie. That's a Stephen King movie. You know, apart from just writing the original story, he had nothing to do with this movie. You know, Creepshow he had a lot to do with because he actually is in it and he's produced and wrote. And the only movie I can think of that, well, off the top of my head right now is what the hell was that? Maximum Overdrive. That he actually directed and wrote. But, you know, like this and the one with the giant rats and Misery, it's not his movie. It's just Stephen King's Misery because he wrote the original story. So don't blame Stephen King when the movie sucks, which I don't. And there's a lot of sucky Stephen King movies out there based on his works. But there's... every once in a while you get a good one, and this is like a guilty pleasure for me. It's not a great one. Hey, I don't have Carrie. I just realized I don't have Carrie on Blu-ray. going to have to look and see if I can find that cheap. Anyway, Cujo. And that's my last of my C's. Good. I didn't get another call from the car place yet, so I'm still kind of, how much is it going to cost? So that's still there. Nothing, another glass of this will help me settle that thoughtness of me. God, you know, I watch these videos after I'm done just to see what I'm putting out there, because while I'm doing these, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just, oh my God, I almost broke my vomit bag. I just knocked over the frame. And I watch these and I go, my God, I really am losing my mind. Because I'm forgetful, and I'm like, I'm not even, well, maybe a little buzzed, but, you know. Anyway, those are the C's. I'm going to let you guys go now. I'm going to do, for those that are wondering, I have a little lip problem, and I will explain what that's all about. Because I didn't have it 5 years ago, and now I have it, and I used to try to hide it when I talk. Hey, everybody, how you doing? But now it's like I just don't give a fuck. You know, it's part of me now. Just like the weight in the old Jaws, the triple neck. A little shaky. You know, we all get old. We all change. I used to have blonde hair. Now I have white, grayish hair. You know, I used to have a nice beard, and now it's all white. I'm Mr. Papa D, you know. And I'm just living. And I like making myself laugh because life sucks, and there's a lot of crap going on in the world. And a lot of animalistic, just, you know, just living. That's all you can do, folks. Why I'm doing this now at the end of a video, I don't know, I'm wandering. Hey, if you like my videos, hit the like button. Give me a thumbs up. If you subscribe, give me a thumbs up. I don't know why I have more subscribers than thumbs ups is. But anyway, if you like it, thumbs up. Subscribe. You'll see the rest of my collection, including some other videos I do called What's in the Box, where I'm forcing myself to go through all the boxes of collectible things I have and had for 20 some years, stuck in boxes in a closet because I never really had a place to open it all up and showcase it. So there's those videos. And then I have some What's Roger Watching videos where whenever I just get in the mood to say something about a movie that I'm watching, I'll throw the camera on and I'll talk about it. And the old Defending My Collection videos where I'm going to go through my Blu-ray and DVD collections eventually and defend why I have them in my collection, why I like them, or any little stories that come up. I hope you enjoy these videos. If you do, keep watching. If you got any questions, ask me some questions down in the comments. Why don't I have this movie? Do you have this movie? Why do you like that? Why don't you like that? Don't be afraid to ask me some comments or ask me some questions. I'll answer them. But big thank you for watching them. Big thank you for subscribing. Maybe we can get over 100 when 100 subscribers. Maybe I'll get a little more over 100 subscribers when I get into the D movies. So I'm just going to let you guys go. Enjoy the rest of your days cruising on the internet, and that's all for me for now, folks. Do I say toodles? Bye-bye. Anyway, guys, this is Roger. Take it easy. Bye-bye. That opening, Switching on, sir. We're switching the camera on, and it looks very bright, sir. I don't know why. Well, it's the blooming sun. Hey, everybody. It's your old pal, Roger D. Coming back at you. I'm coming back at you. because I've been chasing you and you've been running. I'm coming after you. That's just stupid. Anyway, guys. Oh, okay. This is an intro that I won't use. Oh, what a day, what a day, what a day. I'll talk about that a little bit. Okay. Hey, everybody. Roger D. back with you with another chapter, with another